Welcome back, everyone, to theCUBE's presentation here in our Palo Alto studios. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. This is part of our CUBE plus the NYSE Wired Communities presentation. We're open sourcing the content, creating two access points, Silicon Valley and Wall Street, here in Palo Alto with the CUBE studios. Of course, the CUBE East is on the show floor of the NYSE, getting all the leaders, both in Silicon Valley and New York City, of course, really hitting the programming that matters the most for moving the needle in this new era of AI and also business transformation. Here is back as CUBE alumni, part of our first inaugural NYSE Wired event here in Silicon Valley. Gopi Sirineni, CEO of Axiado, got fresh off some fresh funding news, great innovation in hardware, cybersecurity, and just data. It'll be great to have you back, and you're part of the original gangsters, as they say, the OGs of this now hot, growing, fast, ad hoc social network, trust network of the NYSE Wired community. You were there, president at creation. Thank you for, one, being there and being here again.
Thank you, John, having me for the second time. I appreciate the time.
It's really been quite, just as an aside, I want to get into the news real quick, but just as an aside, it's been quite a marvel to see, how in this time and era where there's so much change going on, so much discovery of new information, accelerated computing, software models changing, that having a network that's open, that people want to be part of, and bringing that trust with first-party relationships and digital together, it's been amazing. And it's really, Brian, the NYSE, and Bonnie and Kevin, the teams, it's been really great because it's open. It's not like trying to own anything. It's just really been magical, and it's been fun. And again, thank you for being part of it. But more importantly, you've got some funding news. You guys are hitting some milestones, a Series C funding. Give us the news, and then we'll get into kind of why it all happened and what's new.
Yeah, so definitely any startup company, biggest thing need to be coming is money. It doesn't matter how great the ideas, you got it. You need a financial support for the companies and a people trust and giving your team and your product. So we're fortunate to have this time is one of the big VCs in the market is Maverick Silicon. Andrew Homan and the team is able to lead this round for us. This is an oversubscribed round. We were looking for some $50+ million, and we raised so far 60. We actually have the round open. We kept it open for a certain amount. We have the earmark, the rest of another 20 million or so coming in. We kept it because the enterprises are coming in, strategic investments coming in, and they'll take a little time. So in all...
So you lock down the institutional investors, the main money guys come in.
Yeah, so far we got the institutional, which is the VCs get the money, and including the Samsung gave the money in this part of the round two also we announced. And I can't give you the other one's names yet, but
we'll get the
we'll get the 20 million more to be into this round, what has been approved. We'll close...
Strategics.
It is strategic.
Enterprises,
yes. Enterprise.
Hyperscalers.
So these are, I can't go, you're trying to get to the bottom. So let me, partners, customers in, strategic partnerships where we have is they want to do it, so we give them more time to do it. So this money should be good use for us. It's a Series C for us too. Definitely we have a product already in hand. Last time we talked about, we are in the infrastructure market, so it takes around 9 to 12 months to go to the production with the customer. We are ready, but obviously customer shipments take time. So we're in the process. This money is going to be used for expansion of engineering teams, support teams, and especially marketing and sales team. We are now a little bit thin on that marketing sales.
You mean to go to market and then team.
Yeah, so it's definitely, we have almost pretty much, infrastructure world is not like, you have like hundreds of people that you're going to go customers. It's tens of customers, that would you have, and we take care of. All of them already know and aware, but we do need a sales and marketing guys to work with them, make the product to go to market, and all that stuff to also.
Highly targeted customer base.
Definitely. So it's three types of customers what we got. CSPs, cloud service providers, which is what you use the word hyperscalers. That's the one customer who directly buys from us. And then the OEMs, which is the Dell HPs of the world, which is the original equipment manufacturers. We build off-the-shelf servers, and then in enterprises directly also means the companies building their own data centers.
So they're their own OEMs for their stuff?
Yeah.
Like a white box kind of thing, or no?
It's more of either white box or directly going into CM back in Taiwan. Every company's in Taiwan now manufactures. And NVIDIA is special. Now they have a separate breed of market. They do their own racks. So they all dictate exactly. So all the above 4 type of customers, we already have a partnership with this. Some of these we announced already. All of these end products going to be start shipping in 25.
Okay, so for the folks watching, there was a video in August. We went into great detail, but for the folks who haven't clicked on that video, give a quick overview of the company, why the funding round was successful, the moment. Talk about the company, what you do, product, obviously, chips and cyber, and momentum.
So we are a 5-year-old company, and we are a hardware-anchored AI-driven security in here. So in a simple way, we're a platform security. So everybody under the market today, you see under the sun, the 2 markets. Everybody talks about AI as a mainstream AI, which is the highest computing LLM models, et cetera. That's not what we are addressing. We are addressing the platform security of those authentication, attestation of those LLM models, or firmware and platform, hardware, pluggability, everything. When you put into a system, we're the first one to boot up, and we'll be able to attest and authenticate every hardware, software, firmware, model, port, user, et cetera, everything on that. So,
who said the perimeter is dead? Well, it is, but long live you guys, because you're doing at the point of machine.
Yes, so it's a simple example. I think it might have touched with you or somebody, but at the time, think like this way. Cybersecurity is biggest buzz in the market at this point. Everybody under the sun want to talk about it, but every solution what's available in the market is all software-based solution. And I'll give you an example of simple. Some bank heist is happening. Somebody you see the movies type of thing. So there's a camera surrounded, big guy, whoever is trying to rob the bank, you're going to turn off the cameras, and then you're going to break the doors and go inside and, steal the money. Analogy to that too, take like whole systems are secured in something called XDR. All the software solutions in the market are cameras, which is watching out to what's happening. And then once you break that cameras, and the first guy comes up and turns out the cameras, if you're a sophisticated thief, and then you break the door, break the door is, in this case, is a hardware door, which is the Palo Alto type of firewall security. If those things too happen, unfortunately, there's nothing that protects you after that. Or if you're an insider, which is a similar situation that you pass through both of them, and nothing can stop you. That's where we come into the picture. We're a last line of defense. We get right in front of the money chest in here, watching out that, and there's something is happening and outside. We get to know with our AI thing. We cannot see it because we don't have a control on upper layer, but then we get to be ready for that. Like you're going into a house, you see somebody breaking the front door, you put the one more door barrier into that. You seek for help. So analogy we give another one also. We're like Bruce Willis in Die Hard movies. Okay. We're in the building.
You don't know where you are, though.
Exactly. But threat actor does not know. In this case, villain does not know we exist. By the time we started, showing our presence, and by the time he get to know, we collected every forensic data, like how many shooters were there, how many hostages were there. Same thing he does. Get help from outside, so we'll be able to do it inside out with outside help training. So this is the way you need it. All that security around it, what we just talked about, you do need to have a port of entry protection, means bad actor not coming through a kernel, application, software. You do need all that stuff still, but just in case, if anything passes, which is what every day you're hearing, that we will be the last line of defense to watch out and able to stop those. We're the only one can tell you then that when there is things happening, literally in action, you can catch that in action. So that's what.
And the innovation from your perspective is it's hardware.
So it's in a chip. We built in the chip. So same AI principles we use like everybody else. Inferencing, training, everything is all the same, exactly the same.
How big is the chip?
Chip is, we're now sampling is a 23 by 23 size, physical size. So we use inferencing on the chip, and the training is obviously on the cloud. So it's all based on how much memory you do it, and around it, that's all enough for us to. The size is not big for us because there's a big difference in there. If you take an NVIDIA type of AI models, they use an inference sizes in images. Let's take an example. It's a 4K image type, and our inference is a packet patterns, packet information. Based on that, if you compare the analogy, we're 1/1,000,000th of that 4K image packet. So that's why I can be that small. I would do the same function to all.
So that increases your customer base because density.
Yeah. So we are going to be on any platform, any and everything platform. Today we're focused on the data centers because that's the first thing to address. But any compute system, that could be a platform with your laptop to be tomorrow point of sale, financial transactions, it could be traffic light,
Camera.
anything need to be right now, need to be attested and authenticated, that need to be secured, especially there's no physical security that we'll monitor. That's the places we'll go. So we'll have a family of products will come up further.
All right, what's the constraints on device? I mentioned cameras, I was riffing, but like, I'm envisioning inference will be everywhere.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a killer app.
Yeah.
Is there a requirement for your chip? Is there a certain configuration right now, in the future? What's the constraint?
So for us, is based on how much of attestations, authentication, how many applications you're going to run, how many LLM models you're going to run. Based on that, we'll play the size of how many keys I need to generate, how many keys and how fast I need to authenticate and attest and those things, how many variables. We don't have a billion parameters like a bigger main AI, but still hundreds of thousands of parameters we got to handle. So we use that for the concept is same, but that too. So goes to camera, you don't have that many, so it should be okay. But if you go to further, like point of sale, that you have to every transaction need to be monitored. And inside the transaction also monitor. Same way you come to the platform security. More modular, more cards, more graphics, more GPU, more accelerators you add, more complex that becomes.
Take us through the product status, the folks watching, available, who's the customers you're working right now, where's the growth, obviously Series C, great milestones. I mean, you got a tailwind with the whole inference market. Andy Jassy and Matt Garman at ABS was saying, hey, inference is a building block that has implications. It's programmable. So things are happening. Where's the product?
Yeah, so if you see outside, one big buzz is what NVIDIA started. This is, general purpose computing is dead and accelerated computing is here. That's what you needed to the model to go after. In the same way that applications has to be everywhere. You cannot, now again, you cannot take just everything of NVIDIA, big fat processor, again, a GPUs, to do every function. So there's a custom tailored AI engines need to be built. We're one of them. We're basically focused on to the security side of it. We're not competing with anybody at this point. We are a one of a kind. It's a complementary to every AI engine in the market right now, what they do. We're part of that piece to be as a complementary. We take care of just on the security. We don't bother about other stuff. We will scale this higher as the demand goes up to and scale down to also. So today, as we talk about a status, we have a card and a product with us today. We already announced with a bunch of EMS partners of NVIDIA and engineering manufacturing guys. In 4 out of the 16 partners, we already announced that with the partnership. We'll be shipping in the Q1 timeframe. The end customer, I cannot say that right now until they announce, which will be sometime.
But there's end customers.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. OEMs, they don't like to disclose because it's secret sauce.
Right now, we're building with the CM and the OEMs ODMs at this point, but the end customers will come up announce. These are the big ones, small ones, everybody. I can't. We have a customer base right now requirement. We cannot keep up with them right now. So we have so many of them right now.
You have so much inbound.
Yeah. Right now, the platform, so many variables right now. We're staying with the limited right now to focus and deliver the first versions. First 2 quarters is focused on the top 3-4 customers, and then we'll widen it. That's what this money will be used.
Yeah.
We need the support teams to bigger to do it. There's a lot of customization for each one to do. So a lot of stickiness, but also a lot of work to do.
Big 6 months for you.
Yes.
Since we last talked. That's been 4 months, but still.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot's happened.
Yeah, next 1 year, 6 months to 1 year is going to be big for us. We're going to having a revenue and possibly looking for, big customer announcements with and all that stuff.
As an entrepreneur, not to sidetrack, but I want to get into this, the entrepreneurial side of it. I mean, a Series C is a big deal. You're hitting escape velocity. You have a venture you start out with, usually misunderstood when the market's not hyped up, but you're grinding away on your North Star. Take us through the mindset of your journey, because I think, this is always, I always talk about this because it really is special. Entrepreneurship is not a playbook. You really have to be determined. And when you hit success, you also want to make sure that's not the end game. It's the beginning of the journey. Every milestone and mile marker is another thing. Take us through your mindset on this as an entrepreneur.
First of all, as you just said, we're not done yet. I don't think anybody is until, there's every time in the next stage. We're talking about next 12 months is the revenue generation and then selling to the market. And as you talked about, a big point, it is the startup journey, especially in the semiconductor world, it takes years to do it, and it takes extra money to do it compared to when we started 5 years ago. It was not a big appetite for semiconductors, and we're fortunate to have early investors to commit on us. So when you take a seed money, you do a POC, and once you have a POC, people has to like that there's a market for there. Then you get the Series A to show it to the first customer, then Series B to actually do the real chip to be, Series C take it to the production. So it's a good traction that, it's testament to saying that you're there. The biggest problem for anybody to do that, especially it's a long cycles like this, when a product is ready for you, when you incubated, you had an idea, you built something, 4 years later, you have a product in hand. At that time, having a customer still existing there, they're waiting for you, that the market exists, microeconomic conditions fitting to you is the biggest tailwind you can expect. So there's a luck a little bit of need to work, and we're fortunate to have that. We are at this stage that market is, as you just talked about, AI world is taking, and accelerator taking, cybersecurity is hard, data centers is hard, and AI is hard. We're exactly a mix of all three. That's why now the people are coming in. We're hiring more people to help us to go much faster from here.
It's one of those things. I appreciate you sharing that, because a lot of people don't appreciate sometimes. You kind of wait for the target, the win, and then your eyes, oh, there it is, it's happening. All that work, all that hard work. And when it's happening, you don't want to get too caught up, but you want to celebrate a little bit of a private victory. Go, okay, it's happening. And then now it's, okay, reset focus. What's the next milestones? That's the roller coaster, isn't it?
It is a startup. I think Jensen mentioned, somebody asked him, will he do it again? He took 30 years for him, but I would be the same thing. Will I do it again? This is my fourth one. I would say no at this point. It was painful. 4 years, I thought I know everything, but I'd done this before. It's not. Everything is different. Pandemic was a complex to do with it too. People coming and helping you at the time is a big thing, important to be able to do it. But yeah, it is definitely every stage. You just take a day at a time, or a month at a time, a quarter at a time. You need to get the next milestone. We're not, as I said, we're not done.
Yeah.
We want to take it.
You're in a good spot. I mean, all that hard work pays off. That's why I really wanted to ask. I think it's really a historic thing, and it's a huge accomplishment. And like you said, people help you along the way. What were some of the things that happened for you that broke the right way? If you had to look back and saying, we got lucky here, we were smart here,
So pandemic time, the big thing was pandemic time. Pandemic was bad, tough. Raising money, talking to anybody was tougher to convince anything, but also helped us. I want to be truthful to that. When everybody shut down and we're incubating what's the idea, concept, and all that. We're able to reach out to people, CTO, CEO, technologists of the company. This is what we are thinking about. What do you think about inputs of? So if a market was like this, regular running, everybody's right off running and everything, they wouldn't have given a time, but they gave me Zoom was free, and they were free in 30 minutes. So access was 30 minutes was calls, went into 2 hours. They got talk because they don't have much to going on at the time. So it's a peak pandemic, and it was very useful for input. So that's fortunate too. We had a great input to come out to every customer. What I'm calling today is gave every penny of the inputs in there. So we put together a year later, we go back with the product, now starts coming up. The convincing people to come and work with you while you don't have money. And I can say this one, we were at the stage one time, $4,664.95.
Yeah.
Today I got $60 million.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you able to do that, back of it and still motivate people to work? That's every CEO's, problem.
Yeah.
But that's what the leader thing you have to do.
Don't run out of money and keep the people on the boat. Well said, and that's hard. It's a test too. It's sometimes you have dark moments.
Every day, not sometimes.
Not anymore.
You
got to spring to your step. Well, first of all, congratulations on the funding, and I think it's a huge accomplishment. And like I was saying, you're starting to see the value of what people now see, what you guys were really working towards with inference, in the applications and the enablement from it. What are some of the things you're seeing now that you're hearing from your customers, partners? Now you're going to have strategic investors coming in, which is a great sign of validation. And by the way, for the folks that stayed on, great job, way to stay on. But now you get to go to the next level. What's the working backwards from the customer look like now? Because, okay, it's going to be a surge. You got demand, so you got to solve that problem.
Yeah.
That's just blocking and tackling, go, go, go. But now you don't want to miss the next iteration on the product innovation.
Yeah, so we are, there's two directions to go. Obviously, every market is coming from, as I talk about, today we do data centers, and everybody's asking to help us in enterprise laptops. You had to authenticate, and you talk about point of sale terminals, automobiles, cars need to be now the biggest computers. That's a risk for you too also. So all these things are coming up. We need to focus and see which one we want to attack and address where the value we can come in. We're not going to be selling anything cheaper as a startup. It's a value selling, and we need to demand. So there is a big input for scale up and to get to the next level of servers and all the stuff to be, and then also to be both ways. And this is definitely the teams coming, and as you talk about, more celebration is, we're going to have a Christmas party this time, and amazing team has been there. There was a year we didn't have salaries in December, and they all stayed with me. Nobody went out, and I'm fortunate to have a team. When I told the guys I'm running out, I don't have a paycheck for the next 4 weeks, but you still need to work. And they did because we trusted, we paid. And this is the first year we're going to have a little bit relaxed on the stuff too. So that's a celebration. But at the same time, come back and we got to deliver the next phase of the company. A roadmap, we want to be not a one-trick pony. We want to be a big portfolio company. We want to be the next NVIDIA on this platform security side. Why not?
Yeah, and I think this moment, the moment of let's celebrate, let's get back to work, because you're talking about AMD, Intel, NVIDIA, ARM, you got strategic initiatives, you got a lot of work to do on the integrations, because now the game's on, and you got demand. What's next? What's your big milestones for the next couple months before we see you again?
For next, as I said, we most probably will be able to announce a big partnership with that. That's what I'm looking for. I got to work and make sure that my end customer is completely happy with to go through. That would be the next quarter, let's say. 6 months, and we go to the next product generation. What's the next family is going to go up? Full year, we want to be end in a double-digit millions of revenue at the end of the year. So.
Yeah, I'm sure the ODMs and OEMs are going to really love that product. Really appreciate you coming back. And again, you're part of the inaugural. You're going to have a status on the plaque. First one to the wired. This is going global. The wired network is going global.
Thank you guys.
Take a minute to put a plug in. Folks watching, what do they can expect? You hiring? You got some money? You got some really focused execution. Give a plug for your needs, and for anyone watching, new customers, take a minute to put a plug in for your awesome work.
Obviously, customers we got. Thank you for all the customers and partners, what they're doing. We'll continue to work with you guys, but I'm looking for more people too. We are now completely de-risked the problem. There is a market needs are there. We're looking for engineers, firmware engineers, a lot of firmware engineers, a lot of experts on the security, what you can add, and then the AI models, next generation AI models we need to do. All three type of engineers we're looking for. Right now I need a seasoned guys, and we have a bunch of new guys we already trained, but I'm looking for firmware engineers here, India, Taiwan, those are
anywhere around the firmware engineers, it's hardware engineers.
We're a different company than any of them. Don't go into everybody mainstream. You're one of the millions versus you could be one of the hundreds in here.
You know, a lot of people always ask me about, been in this industry for many years, being an entrepreneur, what the secret of success is. And the secret of success is when the wave is hitting, you want to have at least a prior experience going into it, not try to jump on the wave and learn. You guys are a great example of that, and face the $400 in the bank, and go to the edge.
Yes, that's what the startup is.
Yeah.
But we're all de-risked that one. We got money to support. And all the kids who is in the college and don't chase the AI models only, it's a real core programming. Learn the core programming. You got the carry on that. So.
Well, great friend. Thanks for coming on theCUBE, Gopi. Appreciate you.
John.
I'm John Furrier here with theCUBE and the NYSE wired community. Check it out. We're at Silicon Valley and East Coast. We've got CUBE East and the NYSE show floor with the NYSE wired community, and here in Palo Alto with the NYSE wired community, bringing you all the open source content from experts, friends, people making things happen in this new wave where it's going to be a whole different market, and a lot of changes, how people interact, how you compute, accelerated computing. Offload computing is coming around the corner too, so we didn't get time to get into that. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back for more after this short break.